and a famous guest ready with practiced answers. But within minutes of the red light blinking on, it was obvious even to viewers sipping tea in their living rooms that this was not the interview anyone thought it would be. Meghan Markle wasn't defensive. She was combative. And Laura Quinsberg, Britain's famously steady, famously unshakable political interviewer, was about to discover what it meant when a guest treated a BBC flagship program like a battleground. The studio was intentionally serene. Massive screens showed a stylized version of Downing Street with its black door and white columns, like a reminder of the country's institutional backbone. Two bright red chairs sat opposite each other, with a pale wooden table between them. Two perfectly placed water glasses reflected the overhead lights. Everything suggested calm neutrality. Laura Quinsberg, posture straight, red dress immaculate, had her note cards arranged on her knee with methodical order. Her face carried the confidence of someone who had interviewed prime ministers during scandals that left governments trembling. She had survived worse than celebrity tempers. Opposite her, Meghan Markle sat waiting before the countdown began. White shirt sharp as a blade, black trousers tailored to precision, hands folded. Her jaw was tight, eyes bright and glinting like something coiled. Her hair was pulled back so severely that the angles of her face seemed sharper than usual. Studio, live in 3, 2. The red light blinked. "Good evening," Laura began, voice smooth as polished marble. "Tonight on BBC News we speak with a woman who has been at the center of political, cultural, and royal storms on both sides of the Atlantic. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, thank you for joining us." "You're welcome," Meghan said, controlled but cool. "Though I hope this isn't another attempt to turn my life into entertainment." A ripple moved through the production gallery, barely a sound, but unmistakable. "This is a news program, not a drama," Laura said. "Let's begin simply. You've been in the US for some time. When you look back at the UK, the monarchy, everything that happened, how do you see it now?" Meghan's laugh was sharp, without humor. "How do I see it? As a chapter I outgrew. People here struggle with that idea. They cling to the fantasy that I should be grateful for proximity to a balcony." A producer muttered something under his breath. Someone else hissed, "Oh boy." Some would argue, Laura said evenly, that it was more than proximity. You married into an institution that represents the state. You benefited from that platform. Do you feel any responsibility for the fallout that followed? It's interesting, Meghan said slowly, that when people talk about fallout, they look at me instead of the institution that failed to protect me. No one questions their responsibility. I've asked them to, Laura said calmly. Tonight, I'm asking you. And I'm telling you, Meghan snapped softly. My responsibility is to my well-being and my family, not to an outdated system more concerned with headlines than mental health. Laura glanced at her cards but didn't look down long. You mentioned family? There have been reports your relationship with Prince Harry has been under strain due to the pressures of projects. Business ? You mean gossip? Meghan cut in. Let's call it what it is. The British media loves pretending obsession is concern, and I'm surprised the BBC is repeating it. Laura didn't react. Her training was ironclad because you've chosen, Laura continued, to share parts of your relationship publicly, documentaries, interviews, a memoir. When you present your story, people will ask questions. That's accountability. Meghan's smile was thin. Accountability is an interesting word coming from British media, especially given how this country treats women who refuse to be silent. So you see yourself as someone Britain failed? Laura asked. I see myself as someone who survived a system that wanted a smiling figurehead. When I refused, suddenly I was difficult, predictable. Laura didn't dispute it, but she didn't agree either. You've said you found freedom in America? Yet critics argue you've traded one institution for another: Hollywood, streaming deals, major media networks. Do you feel you've simply shifted systems? That sounds like a think tank talking point, Meghan said. Real people know that when you've been caged. Using your voice isn't hypocrisy. It's survival. But some say, Laura pressed, that your message often circles back to you, your pain, your struggle, your courage. Do you worry the causes you care about get overshadowed? Meghan's jaw tensed. Men tell their stories and are called brave. When I do it, it's self-absorbed. I refuse to internalize that. I'm not asking you to internalize it, Laura replied. I'm asking whether you see why some feel fatigued hearing the same narrative again. If people are tired of the truth, Meghan said sharply. That's their issue. For a moment, neither spoke. The air felt thick. Laura placed her cards aside. There have been questions about discrepancies across your interview's timelines, details, conversations. Some say your narrative evolves. Do you understand why that raises questions? Meghan stared at her. Are you accusing me of lying on live television? I'm saying, consistency matters when your story influences major decisions, public perception, royal duties, even international debate. Trauma doesn't come with timestamps. Laura, Meghan hissed. I'm expected to be a human hard drive so you can fact-check me. It's the public's right, Laura said quietly, when someone uses their pain as a platform. Oh, so that's the problem, Meghan shot back. A woman refuses to play the Grateful Duchess. The producer begged Laura through her earpiece to move on. She didn't. Without titles or cameras? Laura asked. Who are you? Someone who doesn't owe this country an apology for choosing herself. Will continue after the break. When the cameras cut? Neither woman moved. Meghan folded her arms tight. Laura stared ahead, breathing slow, ignoring frantic chatter in her ear. This is going to explode, someone whispered. When the show returned, the atmosphere had hardened. You've said you were silenced, Laura said. Yet today, you're one of the most visible public figures in the world. Visibility brings scrutiny. Do you accept that? Scrutiny is not harassment, Meghan said flatly. Britain blurs that line. I'm asking about the public, Laura said. Not tabloids. The public takes sides because they're encouraged to, Meghan said. Because conflict sells. You've accused the palace of neglect, Laura continued. They deny that. Some former staff dispute your version. How do you respond? That's what institutions do, Meghan said. They rewrite history. So everyone else is wrong, except you. When power is uneven, truth is inconvenient. Speaking of power, Laura said, you now hold incredible media influence. Do you reflect on that? Visibility isn't power when you're targeted. But it lets you shape narratives. Laura countered. That doesn't mean inviting my abusers to debate. Your claims have international impact, Laura said. They require scrutiny. Meghan's composure cracked. You're turning my pain into policy. It's public, Laura said simply. You, of all people, should understand what comes with marrying into that family. You left royal life but stayed in public life. Laura said. Disappearing wouldn't bring peace. Meghan said. Let's talk about your children, Laura said. You want privacy for them, yet you speak about them publicly. When I don't, others lie. When you do, the spotlight intensifies, Laura replied. So what's silence? Meghan snapped. I'm asking if constant engagement preserves conflict. That's something people who never had to fight say. You're always fighting, Laura observed. Do you fear you're fighting the world? Meghan hesitated, but only for a breath. If defending my children means fighting, I'll fight. Even if everything burns behind you. Sometimes change costs that. And Harry? Laura asked softly. His family? His country? Meghan stiffened. Harry makes his own choices. but he's estranged from almost all of them. Do you accept any responsibility? Asterisk, that question is offensive. It's fair, Laura said simply. I didn't sever him from them, Meghan said coldly. The institution did. Long before me. Asterisk, and yet he left with you. Asterisk, because he chose freedom. Or exile, Laura murmured. Meghan's eyes flared. You're twisting this. Asterisk, I'm reflecting what many here believe. Asterisk, this isn't an interview, Meghan said. It's a prosecution. It's asterisk no, Laura replied. It's journalism. Asterisk. And I don't have to accept this framing. Asterisk. You agreed to be here. Meghan breathed hard, tension etched across her face. Final topic, Laura said. Your future. What do you want to be remembered for in 20 years? Asterisk, for choosing myself. For protecting my children. For speaking when silence was easier. Asterisk. And if the world remembers conflict instead of courage? Asterisk, that says more about the world than me. Asterisk will continue after the break. Asterisk, the studio dimmed. The two women sat frozen, locked in the kind of silence that comes not from calm but from battleground exhaustion. Asterisk in the gallery. Someone whispered, she's not backing down. Asterisk, another answered. Neither is Laura. Asterisk, only then did everyone realize this interview had stopped being about answers